Hey there, and welcome back to On Your Terms. I'm your host, Sam Vander, and this is a podcast for online business owners who want to be as present in their lives as profitable in their businesses. This is also a podcast where I'm always honest and I will openly share with you anytime, but today's share is going to be a bit of a vulnerable one because I'm taking you behind the scenes of what it was really like to reshoot all of the videos for my signature product, the Ultimate Bundle, that's generated like well over $8 million in product just for this one thing. Not just to say, like, oh, hey, here's how we shot these things, but because it actually brought up so much for me, like so much more than I thought about or anticipated. And I want to be honest with you about what it was really like for me and sort of how I navigated this. Before we jump into today's episode, every week here on the podcast, I pull a card at random from my deck, answer the question, and I invite you to do the same, whether it's through journaling or just thinking about it while you're driving to work or sending me a vulnerable share of your own as to like what came up for you when I asked you this question. So here's this week's question. What's something you want and are also a bit afraid of? Okay, well, the irony for this being for this episode, but I mean, honestly, if I had to say off the top of my head, it's probably taking a break. Like, I wish that I could take a break from creating so much or even from writing my business or something like this. And when I say, like, I wish I could, I can. It's just that I'm afraid to do it. And I'm afraid that I don't even know what I'm afraid would happen. Like, everything would fall apart. I wouldn't be relevant anymore. Everybody would like lap me in my business. Like people would just start selling things. I don't know, like a lot of scarcity comes up around that. And I just get really nervous about taking a break. I guess I wonder if I would be really bored and like what exactly would I take a break for? I don't know. Those are all just things that come up for me when I hear that question. So I'm curious for you. What comes up for you? Like I said, today's episode is all about this big reshoot that I did in December for all of the videos that are inside of my Ultimate Bundle program. I also, because we finished so quickly, ended up recording all of January's podcast episodes, which was a huge bonus. It was amazing, not only because their studios are amazing, but like, batch recording for the win. So we came here really with the main goal and focus to reshoot all of these bundle videos. Now, I created the Ultimate Bundle 8 years ago. I shot videos for it then. Then right before COVID, or maybe at the beginning of COVID, the Ultimate Bundle had, already become bigger than I ever had intended. It maybe had, 500 people in it. Maybe it was closing in on 1,000 people in it at the time. And I was like, okay, this product actually is something. And so I should re-record these videos. So I did that back in 2020. Now, keep in mind, I always recommend to people that you kind of do what we call the MVP, the most viable product approach to creating a product. So when I created the Ultimate Bundle, I didn't know if anyone was going to buy it or if like 1 million people were going to buy it. So I didn't put the fanciest, editing, filming. There was no good sound quality. Like I had a cheap mic off of Amazon. Like my main goal was getting good substantive videos out to my customers when I created this in 2017 and 2018. And then once I know that this product is going to be a thing, I really invested back in 2020 and okay, let me make these videos even better. Let me make them look a little bit better. I made them shorter because already back in 2020, we were already starting to see the creep of attention span, coming into play. So I was like, let me make them a little shorter. I've learned more, yada, yada. So I did that then. And I would say that ever since 2020, both my life and my business have basically just been like head down, try to stay alive and afloat because my dad got sick, my dad died, my mom died, like all of these things happen on the personal side. And on the business side, it was just like a constant influx of new customers. I guess one of the things that nobody ever talks about when it comes to creating like the signature product is like, it's really hard. Like, yes, it's easy that I have like one main thing to focus on every day, which is like pretty much just selling the Ultimate Bundle. And then I sell individual legal contract templates. But one of the things that people don't consider is that like I have such an influx of people coming in all the time and I'm taking care of them, answering their questions, like making sure they're all taken care of. But I then am like, oh shoot, like I also have to keep this thing updated, right? I want to keep it good. So I keep the products themselves updated, like all of the Ultimate Bundle legal templates get updated and those are included. But then I also want to include like the videos and all of this stuff. And it just like the world changes so quickly. There are all these like new laws and things that happen. And one of the benefits to having so many customers, like we have over 4,500 people in the bundle. One of the biggest benefits to that is that I get a lot of questions and I have so much data, I have so much volume that then I see like, oh, 20 people have asked me this question this year. That means like that's a hole that's missing in the bundle, or that's a hole that's missing in this video that like clearly people don't understand this, or this thing wasn't an issue at the time. Like this thing doesn't make sense to people. So those are all things that I've been clocking now for years, being like, okay, I want to answer this thing. I want to update this video. I want to add a video about this topic. But I felt about like coming into this whole process, I felt about reshooting the Ultimate Bundle the way I sometimes think about the bar exam. I was just telling someone this the other day. Like when I took the bar exam, I was 23. Bless my little heart. I studied like 16 hours a day. I didn't get up. I was so hardcore, which I know will just absolutely shock everyone who has ever met me. And so hardcore, like all my friends from law school were like going to the gym all the time, and they were like, it's so important to get out and like do things for fun. And I was like, no, you got to study all the time. And so I just studied for like 16 hours a day at Starbucks. My butt hurt so bad just from sitting in that seat. And my dad would literally come to visit me at Starbucks, and he would just like, that would be his time with me for the day. Cause I'd be like, I'm not leaving. I'm not taking the 10 minutes to go drive to your house. I was so insane about it. And I was so worried I was going to fail. I think back on that time period now, and I'm like, I could never do that again. I could never take that test again. I really don't think I could pass the bar, both from like a physical body experience, let alone a mental experience. I just don't think I would be able to pass the bar again. And I still have nightmares, by the way, about like someone comes to me in my dreams and tells me like, oh no, there was a problem and like you have to take the bar again. And I'm like, nope, I'm just not doing it. It's not happening. I kind of felt like that coming into the bundle, to be honest with you. I thought back to like 2017 me and then 2020 reshoot me, and I was like, how did she do that? Like I don't know how I did it. The funniest part about it is that I shot them myself. I edited them myself. I added captions myself. I uploaded them myself. These are all normal things that people do in the beginning of their businesses. Like, I don't get an award for this. The point being, like, I have a lot of help now. And so I have a lot more resources. I have all this help now. And I'm like, how the heck did I do that all myself, right? Don't underestimate the power of being hungry. Like when you are excited about something, that beginning of your business, there's still like a little bit of a thrill where you're like, is this thing gonna work? Like it could either like work out amazing or it could go like horribly wrong. And like the thrill of that, you're like, I don't know, let's like roll the dice. Let's see how this goes. I don't have that anymore because for one, it's already gone really well. And I know that the bundle is going to continue to sell. I know it's really good. I also know I have like a lot of help. And so, yeah, I don't know. There's just something that's definitely like a bit of an overarching theme of something I'm experiencing right now where it's like things are pretty easy and that's boring in my respect, like in my opinion. And there is a lot to like when I look back on the earlier years of my business, I'm like, oh, that was so fun because like I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And you might be in that stage right now and you might feel really frustrated about the fact that you're like, I don't know if this thing's going to pan out. I don't understand like what's it called? CapCut Pro or whatever. I don't whatever people are even using now to cut videos. Like I don't even know because I don't do it, right? So but I would have learned it. Like 2017 me would have been all over it. I would have learned it. I taught myself HTML. I taught myself WordPress and like how to build my site. Like I was so hungry and excited for it. And you want to rush through this period of your business, I know, and you want it to be like over and get back to like or get to the place, the good place, right? That you're feel like you're headed. I just wouldn't like mentally or emotionally skip over this journey part because I personally find that this part was really fun. And everybody thinks that it's the part when you are making in your business multi seven figures or something like this. And yeah, that's fun and it reduces a lot of stress in your life in a lot of ways and it adds a lot of stress. It also like I sometimes am frustrated that I can't do certain things in my business anymore because I don't have the capacity. I can't do it, but I miss doing those things. Like I don't like always having people do things for me because I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the scrappiness of it, right? I enjoyed figuring out HTML. I don't want to pay some website designer like thousands of dollars to go figure this thing out. I enjoyed it, but I also can't do that anymore. So like these are just some of the things that people don't think about when they're like, I want this big business. I want all these things. some of the things that you might be enjoying right now kind of get quote unquote taken away from you because you can't physically do them anymore in order to have a business that's of that size. I also now just feel like when I create something, I already know like I'm creating videos for a program that there are thousands and thousands of people in. So personally, I feel more pressure knowing, first of all, that anyone's going to see them. Like it was a lot more fun the first time around when I created videos being like, I don't know if anyone will ever watch this video. It's like, oh, well, now I know people do, right? And people have questions. And one of the things that I think that people don't talk about in the online space enough once they've built an audience or a business of this size is that getting so much feedback, and yes, the negative feedback is rare and so much less than the positive feedback that we get, but getting feedback from people, even when it's constructive, does start to chip away at your sense of like just freedom of expression and like how easily or quickly you express yourself. And so when I'm with friends or family or something like that now, I'm pretty unfiltered. But when I'm doing stuff for online, when I'm creating for my podcast or I am creating videos that I know people are seeing, I'm so much more now like anticipating like, oh, somebody's going to have a problem with that. Someone's not going to like this thing that I said. Well, I didn't like qualify or give this thing enough context, or, I didn't talk about privilege here. So I want to make sure I cover that. And I'm just so worried about kind of managing everyone's emotions about whether or not they're going to be angry or disappointed or upset, or it's too out of touch, not relatable enough for somebody, right? So I don't think people quite appreciate or understand how much that like builds up. It's like clogging a highway, in your brain that it just makes it like harder and harder for me to be myself over time. So I can't believe it's 2026 and the law has been cracking down on online business. And in my humble opinion, if you're running an online business or plan to start one in the next 6 to 12 months, it's really important to get informed about which legal foundations you need to have in place ASAP. It doesn't have to be overwhelming, boring, or super expensive. In fact, I'd love to break it down for you in the simplest way possible and for free. That's why on Monday, February 9th, I'm hosting my first live free legal class of the entire year. It's called 5 Steps to Legally Protect and Grow Your Online Business. In it, we'll cover 5 simple steps to start an online business the right way. Sign up now by clicking the link in the show notes or head to my website, samvanderwielen.com. We're limiting spots for this one, and hundreds of people on my email list have already signed up and written to me saying that they're coming, saying how they're declaring February 2026 as the month that they will inform themselves about what they have to have in place legally. Personally, I think it's awesome, and I really hope you come and join the rest of my community in making this a joint effort to get legally savvy about your online business with us. After all, no one else is going to do this for you. You need to do it. Last time I hosted this, I helped over 8,000 people start an online business. My goal this time is to help 10,000 people start an online business before 2026 ends. My live sessions always fill up so fast, and I won't be doing this class again until the end of the year. So there will be a replay if you can't make the date available, so you gotta sign up anyway. It's the only way to get the replay. Plus, I'll even send you a private podcast link so you can listen to the replay on the go. So whether you're brand new to online business and you want to do things right from the start, or you've been in the game for a while now, but you're kind of worried you missed some of the legal steps, now is the perfect time to empower yourself with the crucial information you really should have under your belt before you accept even one more dollar online. So press pause, my friend, and click the link in the show notes to register right now before this class fills. All right, have you done it? I will literally just sit here and wait for you. I will have my podcast team insert Jeopardy music while you go sign up. It is that important. Or maybe we'll just have to use the sound of crickets because Jeopardy music might be copyright infringement. Or maybe I'll just sit here with some awkward silence. All right, you did it. Good. All right, you're all signed up. I can't wait. I'll see you there on February 9th. Now, let's get back to the episode. But once we actually got here to Chicago and we started filming the videos, I got in the flow of things. Like, obviously, Michelle and Lindsay from my team are here. We're in a nice little groove. We're uploading, downloading. We're doing all the things, getting all the videos. But then something happened that I didn't quite expect. Once I started seeing the videos of myself, and because I had to also go back and look at the old videos or like the old transcripts for the videos just to kind of get my bearings as to how, what I was covering in the new videos, I would see these like old images of myself, which first of all, the videos that are currently in the bundle or were in the bundle, they are at my old house in Philadelphia where I lived my entire life until I moved to New York. So for one, I'm like seeing my old house, but also I have to be honest with you, when I saw myself physically, I was like, whoa, like first of all, who is that person? Because this girl not only like lived in Philly, had never even been to Long Island, for example, and now I live there and like love it so much, but I had such a different life. Like for one, my business was tiny. I was still that little hungry position. I was like working hard to make this business. It was a total girl boss era when you were like hustle, 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 and you like took all your pride out of how much I was working. I was on my phone 24/7, like, hold on, can't talk to you. I gotta post something on Instagram. Like, and I loved it. It was like my whole identity. It also was a time when my dad was alive. I don't even know if my dad was sick yet, or maybe had just gotten sick, right? So my dad doesn't have leukemia. Then my dad hasn't died yet. My mom hasn't died yet. I haven't moved yet. And I mean, it's without question that that experience has taken a huge toll on me, both mentally, emotionally, physically, everything. And when I see pictures, videos of myself from that time period, I'm like, who is that person? Because it's just like, it's literally like seeing the before. And there's a part of me that like my heart breaks for that girl because I'm like, she has no idea what's coming, right? Like what's about to happen. And and I feel like so sad that I just feel like the weight of everything that's happened ever since then. Honestly, I don't know if it's like when I look at those videos then or the ones I see now that it doesn't feel like me. Maybe it's kind of like neither feel like me because this big thing has happened and it's completely changed me. And if you've gone through any, grief or loss, you know that you're just not the same person on the other side. But I don't feel like I'm, who I at least want to end up as right now, forever. And I also don't feel like I will ever be like that woman before in the videos in my old house. Like that will never be me, and I will never be girl bossing again or anything like that, and that's okay. But that girl has also been through so much shit, and I can't imagine. Yeah, it's just like it's literally like looking at another person. I don't even know how to describe it. I also can't help but like beat myself up over how that has impacted me physically. I mean, what I've gone through with grief and all the stuff, the amount of stress, especially for that period of time, it took such a huge toll on me physically. And so obviously I can see the effects of it. I don't feel like I look and feel my best now. And definitely like even when I see videos from the last couple of years, like when I was in the thick of caregiving, I'm like, oh, girlfriend, like I feel bad for myself as what I was going through. I also feel really proud of myself that I was showing up despite everything that was going on. And like, I don't understand how I was able to do that. I don't necessarily think it's that admirable, to be honest, just because I wasn't, I was just like running on all cylinders and running myself into the ground. And I also have compassion for myself that I was doing the best I could do and like trying to distract myself from a really horrible situation. And so it makes sense to me. I also needed to make a living. And so like I just didn't really know what to do. But I look back and I see the toll that that took on me. I see the toll that has caught up with me. And I've been working really hard since probably the summer of 2025 on my health stuff. And I'm frustrated that it's not like done yet. I want the like 30-day version where you just like pop out like a toaster oven and I'm all done. But I recognize and I respect the fact that like it took me years to get, into this position where the amount of stress and like the toll it took on me, and it's going to take time to kind of peel that back off, right? And like feel like myself again, have energy, sleep through the night, all the things that I'm working on doing right now. So one of the mornings that we were here in Chicago, this just like really came up for me and I was really upset about it. And I talked to Lindsay and Michelle about it. Like I needed to just kind of get it off my chest because it's also, I think it's a lot to carry around on your own and just be like, I have this like big worry and concern in the back of my head, but then I'm supposed to be this like smiley, like, hey, welcome to the ultimate bundle, like entertaining person on camera. It's kind of a weird, I don't know. I found that to be a very weird position just in general, since I've been through so much grief stuff and have this kind of business, is that like we have like I don't know, an outward high energy business of sorts, right? Like you have to be quote unquote on. Even when you're being vulnerable, it's still like taking a lot of energy. Like even for me to do this right now, it's like it takes a lot of energy for me to be this honest. I'm worried about how it'd be perceived. I'm worried that I'm depressing somebody, that I'm too much of a downer, but like that all just it takes so much energy being the one that has to produce the content, right? That gets to produce the content. So I just sort of needed to reset myself, get it off my chest, and I honestly got back to work. I mean that's I feel like if that's like a summary of my last probably 5 6 years in business has been like having a really hard time behind the scenes and then being like, well, let's go shoot some videos. And that's just how I have to proceed. I simultaneously want to be here and want to do this and love what I do. And I am having a hard time. And that's pretty much been the like my reality since my dad got sick. And I started taking care of him was like, I didn't lose my ambition. I didn't lose the love I have for what I do. I love podcasting and writing. I love working with my customers and hearing what kinds of businesses they're starting. Like I love content creation. I love all of these things and I am having a really hard time. So how do you show up? Right? It's pretty much what my book is about, the whole thing. So that's what I did here in Chicago. I just kept going because that's what I'm used to doing. So, as I was sharing about this week on social media and what we were doing here in Chicago at Kit Studios to refilm the bundle, I started getting all of these questions from you guys online. And so I thought I would answer a few of them about what was going on here at the shoot. So, Kelsey on Instagram asked me, what made you decide to re record everything? I have that on my plans for 2026 to launch my course. That's a great question, Kelsey, because one of the things I always think about is like when you create a signature product, you have to be really careful not to judge it too much, right? Because you don't want to keep updating it and like keep pouring all this energy into it. First of all, because that's not a very like profitable, productive thing for you to do. But also you want to give the course or the thing that you've created time and you want to give people time to take it, consume it, give it feedback. You don't need to give it as much time as I've given it and like as many people necessarily. But I think that it's time to re-record when, I mean, of course, if the videos are wrong or outdated in terms of information, not helpful anymore, something like that. I know for me, one of the things that came up was like the way that consumption behavior, even alone, has changed since the last time that I recorded bundle videos made me want to re-record them. So last time when I recorded them in 2020, I made them a little shorter, but now I feel like it's just like the attention span is just like completely collapsed. So one of my biggest goals for this one was to make them even shorter and more actionable. Another contributing factor to potentially re-recording them is when you consistently get questions from your audience or your customers where people don't understand something or they still have a question or something has changed now. And so like this question keeps coming up. So for me, I paid attention to these frequently asked questions over time. We kept them in a document. And then those were all things I used to update those exact videos. One of the things I was really excited about in terms of like why I wanted to reshoot the bundle was that just recently I actually had a customer interview where this person told me, with all due respect, I think you need to focus more in your marketing on telling people how the Ultimate Bundle actually helps people to form a business from scratch, because she thought that the bulk of the Ultimate Bundle was just the fact that you get all these legal contracts and website policies. And I think that's like a really helpful reminder that sometimes you lose sight of what exactly like the value is in your product and how you communicate it to other people. So me as a lawyer, like I often think, oh, hey, my contracts and website policy, like that's what's so valuable because I'm thinking about it from like a monetary perspective. Like that's what you would pay a lot of money for, right? But I know for the new entrepreneur or like the want to be entrepreneur, learning the exact steps to take to form a business and just like get it from like soup to nuts off the ground is a huge value. And so that's why when I reshot it and just did this in Chicago, I actually came up with this idea to like have it so that when you log into the Ultimate Bundle, there are 10 steps to start an online business. And right now there are 10 super short, easy, actionable videos that help you nail each one of those steps, like super methodically, like form your LLC, get the business bank account, get your business insurance, yada, yada. So those were all, I think, big contributing factors to re-recording. Now, someone else had another very good question. Melissa on Instagram asked, can you do a post sharing a bit about why you chose to record at a studio versus your home? I assume better equipment, no distractions, etc., but I'm curious about this as an option. Okay, so this is a great question, Melissa, because, well, for one, If you use Kit, which I'm a huge Kit customer, it's what I use to run my, this is not sponsored, but like I use them for my all my email marketing and all that kind of stuff. If you use Kit as a Kit customer, you get access to their new Kit studios, which as of right now, they have in Boise, Idaho, where they're based out of, and then they also have one here in Chicago. I think we also have one coming in New York soon. And first and foremost, they're just beautiful. They also have like all this insane tech, like the most insane cameras and all of the mics and everything's hooked up and like it's just really easy. And they've made it like pretty plug and play. Like you bring a hard drive, you plug it in, hit record, and you have all the video, the audio, everything you need. So there's just for one, I just thought it was helpful to like up level. I would have to pay thousands of dollars to have this kind of equipment, but also have all of this stuff set up and like I film from home, so I don't want all these cameras and like wires and TVs and all these lights and everything like that. So it's pretty cool to just like, it's like you get to borrow somebody else's like already set up pre-made office. It is definitely also true, as you mentioned in your question, Melissa, about like, being at home, it's definitely distracting, right? So like if we were doing this at home, I would have done like 6 loads of laundry by now. I have a dog named Hudson who, if I had my druthers, I would just spend all my time with him. So like, he has to go potty, we take walks, then my neighbor comes out and starts talking to me about like some cool thing she found with her metal detector. And so like then we start talking, then I come home, then I'm hungry, then I have to have lunch. Now I have to clean the kitchen. Like being at home, it's like a whole thing. It's just a different thing. So there is something about going away, leaving the husbands, leaving the dogs, leaving the kids, leaving everything behind, and just being like, we're only here to focus on this. If you've listened to the podcast in the past, you know that one of my best like productivity hacks is always that if you have some task that you need to do in your business, like a specific, like you need to write this week's email newsletter, I highly recommend just going somewhere like a library, a coffee shop, like go sit outside in a park. It doesn't matter. Go somewhere and be like, the only thing I'm doing at this place is that task, like whatever the thing is that you have to do. There's just something about like having this mindset that you're going to this place, you're only doing this thing. And I just find that I always get that done, plus like a million other things I didn't intend to do. Whereas when I'm home, sometimes I will just toil and walk around and do a bunch of different stuff. So yeah, being at home, such a blessing and a curse. Like working from home has so many perks. It also has some difficulties, and you have to be really disciplined. And I just think, especially when it comes to like the audio, visual, like podcasting, recording videos, there's so many factors. Like your neighbor has the guy, blowing the lawn with the leaf blower and somebody's dog's barking. It's just like there's so many things outside my control. Like it's cloudy that day, so now we don't have light and it's a whole thing. So this has been awesome. I personally would recommend it. I would love to get into the habit of like, well, especially once they have these in New York, I would go all the time 'cause it's not that far from us. But even if like you live near any of these cities, or if you're going to Kit's Craft and Commerce Conference, for example, in June in Boise, which I'll be at again. I spoke at it last year. It's the best conference. They have their studios there and you can book time. So last year I was speaking twice while I was there. So I did not do it because I was trying to save my voice. But everybody I knew who came to Kit last year, they all like did podcast interviews and like recorded videos and did all of this stuff. So like take advantage of these things when you travel. If you have to come to Chicago for something, book an extra day, come to Kit Studios, knock out 2 or 3 podcast episodes. Like you can do so many things. So yeah, I just think it's a great way. I'm like very curious to see how this all turns out in terms of how up-leveled the videos look. And we've gotten such incredible B-roll behind the scenes. I've been able to do all these little like video clips and everything for Instagram. We've also done now so much for the podcast. So we have all these podcast videos to use. So like think about how many assets you can get out of just this like one thing, this one day, this one trip. Yeah, so that's a little behind the scenes of how the shoot actually went, what I was sort of thinking, why I went about doing it this way. I'm so curious whether you have any questions for me about shooting in a studio like this or traveling for work like this, or what maybe comes up for you when you're on video. I think one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about maybe some of the more real things that came up for me behind the scenes was that I always worry that people think that like people like me are okay. Like, oh, it's because video never bothers her, or like she must be so confident, or like this must be so easy for her. Like we tend to project onto other people and assume that like it must be different or easier or better for them. And so if you're worried about what you look like, or you're worried, like you've had a rough year and you're like, I'm not camera ready yet. And so, like, I'm worried about that. Or you're worried about feeling confident on video or in a podcast. Like, I think you'd be surprised how many people who you see doing those things feel the same thing as you. It's just that they're doing it anyway. I think that's kind of the difference. And that's why I just wanted to like openly share about this, is that like I feel these things and I do it, and it doesn't necessarily always get easier. Some things do get easier. You get a little more used to talking into a camera and looking stupid when you're walking around and talking to yourself on your phone. But other things don't, right? Other more deeper, deep cut wounds, I think, don't always get better. And it's really about like, do you just want to do this anyway? And I think at the end of the day, that's what I choose to do. I'd love to hear how this episode hit for you. So please send me a DM on Instagram at Sam Vander Wielen. Reply to my emails. Please let me know you listened, what you liked about this episode, what really resonated with you. I absolutely love hearing from you. And as I always say, this is a two-way street. This is not one of those things where you consume and I never hear from you again. Shout out to my neighbor Jen, because she always then will text me and be like, I listened to your episode. I'm being good now. I told you. So I really want you to reach out and let me know what you're thinking about these episodes these days. Speaking of the Ultimate Bundle reshoot, as of today, you can actually sign up for my live legal training. It just opened up today. Seats go super fast. It's completely free live training with me that will be held on Monday, February 9th. Now, if you can't make it live, just make sure you sign up anyway, because that's the only way to get the replay, and seats for this fill up so quickly. I only host this live free legal class twice a year. This is the first one, and the second one won't be until the end of the year. So make sure you sign up for this free legal class today. I'll leave the link down in the show notes for you. Save your seat while you're here. For a few days after that live legal class, the Ultimate Bundle will be on sale, and it will be brand new. It will have all of the videos in it that I shot here in Chicago that I was talking about today. Those 10-step videos on how to start an online business legally. Make sure you're doing it the right way. I shot all new videos about trademarks and copyrights, and I show you how to register them. All kinds of things are inside of the Ultimate Bundle. So that will all go on sale for you after my live legal training on February 9th. With that, thank you so much for listening, and I'll chat with you next week. Thanks so much for listening to the On Your Terms podcast. Make sure to follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen to podcasts. You can also check out all of our podcast episodes, show notes, links, and more at samvanderwielen.com/podcast. You can learn more about legally protecting your business and take my free legal workshop, 5 Steps to Legally Protect and Grow Your Online Business, at samvanderwielen.com. And to stay connected and follow along, follow me on Instagram at Sam Vander Wielen and send me a DM to say hi.